Hello, this is Wmpyr. Okay, so my mission is simple. I'm here to make it very, very clear, and I'm here to stand up for Filipino martial arts. Okay, I'm here to defend Filipino martial arts. So FMA is Filipino martial arts, and more specifically, I'm talking about KEA, KEA, which stands for Kali, Escrima, and Arnis, because those are the three styles that I focused on in FMA, in Filipino martial arts. Okay, so that's my background, is in the KEA. So anyway, I'm here to stand up for that. And you might be asking, do you need to stand up for that? Yes, I do, because a little while back, like in the 90s and stuff, KEA was known to be like the world's authority on stick fighting and knife fighting. When it came to sticks and knives, nobody did it better. And it was a ferocious system. People feared it, respected it. And militaries around the world incorporated KEA, into their combatives. But today, what I'm hearing now, like when I get on YouTube and you watch some KEA related videos, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of people saying that the partner training is unrealistic. All right? And you know what? I hate to say this, but I can see their point. They have good points, Now, a lot of people that do say stuff like that, they just like disrespectful, they just hateful, they really just criticizing just to criticize. It's really just an argument that goes nowhere. So a lot of them don't deserve your time. But there are some that intelligently bring up points, and those points cannot be ignored. Okay, so that's what I'm here to stand up against. And so they're basically saying that the problem is in the partner training drills. And what I've seen is I've seen KEA people who do KEA, and they love KEA, and they will say, we are doing these partner drills for creativity because it's fun and it looks cool. And to me, that's an insult. I'm like, how could you be a KEA person and say that? I'm not happy when I hear that. So I'm here to get the respect back. Okay. At the end of the day, I could care less about it's fun, it's cool, and it's creative. I could care less about that. At the end of the day, I need to be able to use it to survive. It's about self-defense. It's about protection. It needs to be practical. It needs to be effective at the end of the day. Yes, I do want to train in a happy environment. I don't want to get hurt. I want to have fun while I'm doing it. And if I could be creative, even better, And if it looks cool, hey, that's a bonus. But those things are not important. It shouldn't be the most important thing. Okay? You have to have, it has to be solid, and it has to have the validity first, then we can make it fun, then we can make it creative, then we can make it look cool. But without having the solid core, and right now that's lost. The solid core, the substantial substance is not there. And that's unfortunate. And why isn't it there? And in my opinion, it's not there because it's been lost. Yeah, flat out simple. We don't know it. It's been lost. And some people will say, well, this stuff that we do in our partner training, it's only used for an entry. Or, in real life, it only happens in a split second. It may or may not even occur. It's for a very specific circumstance, or so it's kind of rare. It's for a rare situation, or all these things to me are all excuses. No, if that's the case, then why am I spending so much of my time practicing that? If for only for such a rare and something that may not even happen, then why am I spending all my time on it? You know, no, it needs to be usable, practical. It needs to be for a situation that's gonna happen. You know, so that doesn't make sense to me at all. The answer is flat out simple. Once again, why do we have these partner drills that look like we can't use them at all? How do you use them? I don't know. And the people teaching them, they don't know either. That, to me, that's the answer. We don't know. Why? Because a lot of the info has been lost. And someone may say, well, how could that be? Because it's been preserved, and it's been passed down from generation to generation, from student to student, or from teacher to student, teacher to student. How could it be lost? Easy. The era is different. And actually, it's not just one era, it's many eras, because Filipino martial arts goes way back, right? Kia goes way, way back, all the way back to ancient wars when they were using spears, swords, armor, bow and arrows, those kinds of wars, all the way to modern warfare, battling terrorists. We're talking about with firearms and all kinds of stuff like that, modern day stuff. And then even before that, we had situations with gang wars, where knife combat would occur, knife fighting would occur on the streets. People would get attacked. They would get attacked by thugs and criminals using this stuff to their advantage. And then even before that, we'd have like bloody duels where one family would challenge another family. So those are all different situations. Those are all different eras that Kia was actually used in. So those are multiple eras that it's been through, and each time the era changes, and now we have a relatively peaceful era compared to any of those from back then. Times have changed so much that we lost a ton of info, is what I'm saying. And once again, to back that up, the best example I could give you guys is the Star Wars example. I could get a kid today, a kid who's, I don't know, like 13, 14 years old right now, and show them the movie Star Wars and say, isn't it great? And the kid, probably their answer is, yeah, it's okay. And I'm like, how could you say it's okay? I'm talking about Star Wars, Episode 4, the original Star Wars, right? Show that to the kid, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's all right. What they are used to is completely different from what I was used to back when I was a kid, back when I saw Star Wars for the first time. That era is no more. And at that time, Star Wars was groundbreaking. Star Wars cannot keep up with the stuff today because it's just, there's so much of the stuff that we see today was created in a post Star Wars eras that it had so many things put into it, that has been influenced and affected us all throughout the decades, that things have changed, But for me back then, there was nothing like Star Wars at the time. You see that, you're blown away. It's all that the kids wanted to talk about. It was the most dominant thing at the time. It was the most influential. It was huge. We wanted to believe in the Force. We wanted that to really be true. And someday I'll be able to go like that, and the lightsaber would come to me. All that stuff. Of course, that didn't happen till Empires. But anyway, I'm just saying, just like the kid today who watches Star Wars now isn't gonna get it. Not the way that I saw it, right? They're not, because the era is not the same. All right. So that's my point. So that's why a lot of stuff, a lot of info, unless this kid does the research of what the era was like and how Star Wars revolutionized, how it was groundbreaking in many ways. Unless they do that kind of research, they're not going to understand it. So that to me is the same with Filipino martial arts, the partner drills. We are doing those drills in today's context, in today's era. So a lot of information has been lost. Okay. Now I've tried to go back and do a research, and that's why I looked into like fencing and you know, espada y daga, the Spanish style, and all that kind of stuff. You know, I do look back into that and try to research that kind of stuff and what it was like, you know, fighting with armor and that kind of stuff, and try to piece together and see some of the info that was lost. You know, I tried to do that, but I can only speculate. Anyway, the problem is in the partner drills. So what I am here to tell you guys is that's what I'm going to do here. Is I'm going to change, and I have been on my YouTube. You can see it on my YouTube channel since the very beginning. I have been raving about the force-to-force block, and that is one of the ones where I am changing the partner drills to where they are drills that make sense in today's context. That no info is going to be missing, that for today's people, they could see it and they see the drill and they go, I can understand how it's going to be used in a real life situation. That the gap there going from the drill to real life usage is much, much smaller, that it is almost a direct translation, that you're going to get it, you know. That is what I've been working on, is to change the drills, to evolve them for today. Okay, and evolve, once again, doesn't mean that it's better. It means that it's adapted for today's environment. Okay, so today's era, today's mindset, all that's different from when the Filipino martial arts was created back then, and the different eras that it's been through. Okay, so that's what I'm here to do, and and whatever makes sense, I'm just gonna keep going at it, you know. So the force-to-force block was taught to me in 1990, like this. Hold the stick like this, an attack is coming sideways, and you block it like this. Well, that I had to understand. It took a lot of time to understand over the years, to figure out that, oh, that motion can be used in different angles, because originally it wasn't taught to me that way. It was only taught to me this way. Go sideways like this, you know. So now, you know, I understand that it could be applied for different angles, all right? And then I had to come to the realization that this was actually a very, very realistic block. And that came from when I was helping my students with some Muay Thai kickboxing, and I was holding the forearm pads. So when I was holding these forearm shields for my students, the movement that I was making was very similar to the force-to-force block, and I was like, I get it. So now I could actually use this in full contact. It was one of the first techniques that I could actually use in full contact that came from Kia. One of the big ones I was trying to figure out is, how do I use the Heaven 6 in full contact? And that took a while. That took a long time. But this one, I was like, got it. I can use it in full contact. Amazing, right? So, but now, you know, evolving it to that single stick, right? We also do double stick in Kia. So when you put your hands close together, now you could do this kind of blocking. And that is related to the force-to-force block, because what is the force-to-force block? It's not a hand position, because this can be changed. This can be changed. You know, these are all variations of the force-to-force block. Okay, so the idea of the force-to-force block is the attack is coming in, and I'm going to meet it force-to-force. That's where it gets its name. That's the force-to-force block. So it's not about the hand position. It's about what are you doing. So if I go force-to-force, and right there, so back to the original, this was the original force-to-force block, like this. So I was grabbing something like this, because in a real life situation, you don't want to go empty hands. So if they have a knife, I want to use something like a shield to block. So now I was going like this to block, right? So this was this. Okay, so now we could still do the force block this way. So that's the double six like this. So that's this right here. You see, it's like I'm holding a stick, I'm holding a stick. So double stick here, here. And once again, it is the force-to-force block. So those are the kinds of evolutions in partner drill training that I have been working on. And I will continue to do that. I am changing the Kia partner drills to something in today's era it's easier to understand. And that is, as I keep doing that, I will go back to the older material and try to see if anything makes sense or if I could figure things out, because, you know, once again, a lot of that stuff is lost. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.